Okay, we're going to continue with the Chapter 7 review video solution. We're going to do problems 23 to 28 in this video. So we look at 23. We're going to print here. So the first thing is we're printing this literal string that has IATE and a space in it. So we're going to go IATE and a space. Then we're going to go over to this expression right here, which is going to return a number because it's index of. And so we go to church 1 and we look for ran in church 1. And ran in church 1 is right here. The first character of this group of characters is an R, and it's at position 5. So this returns a 5. And so we go right here, and we have a space here, so now we're going to put a 5 here. The next thing that happens is you're going to have a literal string which has a space at the beginning, which puts a space after the 5, gives us room to then put apples. Okay, so that's the first one, number 23. And you have a period as well. Alright, the next one is 24, and we're going to start with a method. And this method is going to bring a substring, so it's going to be a group of characters. We're looking for 12 in church 1. Well, 12 in church 1 is right here at the capital X. But then having one parameter in a substring means that we start at 12 and go through the rest of the string. So we start at 12 and go all the way to the end. So it's going to be Xavier. So Xavier is the first thing that shows up, and then the next thing that shows up is a literal string which has a space, 8, and another space. All that must be printed. So we have 8, space, 8, and then another space. The next thing is a method, and the method is the length of church 1. And so church 1, we count up all the spaces, or all the characters, including spaces and punctuation marks. Well, essentially what that's going to do is going to be 17 plus 1, so that'll be 18. So we have 18, and then the next literal string starts with a space and then apples. Alright, so that is number 24. And include a period. Number 25. And here we're going to use a method with church 1 that will return an 8. Well, in church 1, you find the 8 position, which is going to be this C. So the question is, what is going to bring an 8 using the C? And so that's going to index of length brings a number, and index of brings a number, but length is going to be like 18, so it has to be index of. So we're going to go church 1, and then because it's taking, wait, I can do this. Alright, so what I did part of this so far. So we have church 1 dot index of, and we want to return an 8. So if we say C, then that should return an 8. Now we've got to make sure that there are no other C's in here, because it's going to take the first instance of this C. There are no other C's previous to that, so we want to put quotation marks around the C in the index of, and there we go. So church 1 dot index of C will produce an 8. That's what it will return. Looking at 26, a method with church 2 that will return a 17. Well, if you look at 17 in church 2, that's going to bring an I. We want to be able to use I in this method, which again is going to be a church 2 dot index of. So in this particular situation then, we want to use an I in here. So we're going to go like this. Now, here's the problem. if you do just an I, church1.index of I, it's going to look for the first I. The first I produces a 1. So that's not going to return the 17 that we want. So you have to use the I, but you have to use another letter to make it into a unique situation. Now what this on 17 is an I, the second letter is an S. So you have to go, well, is there an IS previous to this IS? And as you look here, there's an IT, not an IS. So this IS is the first IS. That's what you want to use. An IS will force it to go to 17 and look for the and do the position of the first character of this group of characters, which is going to be at 17. Right? This is one you're going to need to remember for the test, because this will be on the test for sure. Okay, let's go to the next one. We want to 27. We're going to use a method in a 4-character string with church1 that will return a 5. Okay, so if we're going to return a 5, that's the issue. How do you return a 5? Well, again, it can be length or index of. But length, all these are more than 5, so length is not going to work. So index of is what we're going to have to use. Okay, so in using this index of, it's got to be a 4-character string that we're using. So the 4-character string, remember that when you're looking for the position of a multi-character a group or a group of characters, it's going to look for the position of the first character. So we know that this at the 5 position has to be the first character of the 4-character string. So we go to church1, we find position 5, which is the R. So the R has to be the beginning of a 4-character string. Well, after you have to look up here, it can't be anything. It's got to be up here in church1. So RANC. That's a 4-character string that will put you at 5. Return a 5. Okay, the last one we'll look at for this video is the method that will return the number of characters in church2. Okay, that's pretty simple. So we're just going to go church2 and then etc. and then dot length, and that's all there is to it. Church2 dot length will give you the number of characters in church2. And that's the end of this video.